All right. So I am giving this presentation on let me do my disclosures first. Samantha, do you want to start recording?
I am recording.
Great. So welcome. I just want to let everyone know that this report and everything in it has been done by Synchrony. And Synchrony is a consumer finance firm that I work for in Stamford, Connecticut. And this has been approved for external use, but the content can't be really copied, used, and shared unless you get approval from Synchrony Financial. So having said that, this is a coronavirus and consumer survey that we have commissioned. And as you can see, we've done the survey from the beginning. So from even before coronavirus was a big thing and everything started shutting down, we went to the field with a survey about how people were feeling about the coronavirus. And you could see June, we're now in August. So unfortunately, it takes a while to get these approved through our various parts of the organization, but I am going to update you on the most current events as we go through this. So things have changed a lot since the survey. I'll let you know, and if things have stayed the same, I'll let you know as well. All right, so key survey trends. You know what? I am going to brush past this because we only have 20 minutes and we'll be getting into a lot of this stuff anyway. All right, so overall, where we started in March is people said that only 58% said that they were following news about coronavirus extremely or very closely. And you could see that really spiked in the end of March and also stayed pretty up there and then kind of went down a little bit in June and July. So people are almost used to the news now, and a lot of other things are coming up. I got to tell you, the trend for July is very similar to what you see in June. Just because, there was a spike up there when a lot of states' infections rose, but right now, only about 62% say that they're following news about coronavirus extremely closely. And then how concerned are you? How worried are you? You could see, only about 30% of the population in early March were worried, and that has not dived below 45% ever since then. So people are still really worried out there. About 50% describe themselves as extremely or very worried. And like I said, that has not changed. Since this data point, it has gone up. So now it's up above over 50. The most recent data point we have, beginning of August, is 54% say they're extremely or very worried. Okay, people's current financial situation. So we asked them to rate their level of stress about their financial situation, and you could see about 30% are feeling very or extremely stressed. And that has gone down from where we started off. Right, so at the end of March, when this thing was in full-blown lockdown, many more people say they were stressed. And now, it kind of has abated a little bit, but it's still a lot of stress out there. And the July, August numbers, very similar. And then it said, this is really the amount that people are on the brink. If you relied on your savings, how long would your savings last? And remember, this may not be our demographic, but it is a wide demographic for the United States. A lot of people are feeling like this. So about 34% say even less than a month, their savings would last even less than a month. So, and then the majority say their savings are not going to last more than 3 or 4 months. So a lot of concern here that, you know, people are feeling a good amount of financial stress. Changes to their work environment. Coronavirus has resulted in a lot of people working from home, and of those who are unable to work, you could see that an increasing number of people are looking for another job. So a lot of them have thought it was just a temporary thing. You know, I'm on furlough, I'll go back to work. And now they're actively out there looking for another job to much greater extent. 30% have said that they have lost health insurance, and that has climbed to 46% at the end of July. Changes in their work environment. Many people are saying, about almost 50% now are saying they're working full-time, part-time. And 28% saying they're waiting to be rehired, and 20% relying on unemployment benefits. So these are, of the people who have lost their jobs, what are you doing? So how do people feel about the progress towards reopening? So people think there's little change in how people feel about the timeline. A lot of people are feeling they are agreeing with their state's plan to reopen. After the rise in infections in other states, in the Midwest and in the South, this 41% dropped to 39% again, but still a good amount of people agree with their state's reopening plan. More people think the states are opening up too fast than think states are not opening up fast enough. And of the people who say, how confident are you that your state will be able to reopen safely? About 34% said they're confident. And I am going to go to more recent data. Yeah, and it's very consistent. All right, so now we asked, when you go shopping, what is your expectation? How can retailers make you feel comfortable going shopping again in the store? And the one thing that they told us, and this is pretty consistent from the beginning, is masks and gloves for their employees. And 76% are now telling us that they are wearing masks and gloves when they are, well, masks, not necessarily gloves, but masks when they go out to shop or go out in public. And other high-rated things: treat your employees well during the pandemic. People really care about that. Continuously monitor your employees for signs of illness. So those are the real top 3 things that people want. But as you can see, there's not a lot of separation here. You know, over 36% say they want these top 3 things, but then 30, 28, 26. So it's a little bit that they want a comfort level in a lot of different things and not just in one thing alone. All right, so what retailers have people shopped in? The real majority of people say that they have shopped in a standalone retailer, and many times that is a grocery store, a Costco, or something like that. but people are really not comfortable going into malls. And at, we asked them to describe their experience among those who shopped. How happy were they with the shopping experience? And most people say they were very happy with the shopping experience, and which tells me that they felt fairly safe about shopping once they went in. Okay, returns, I think I'm going to skip over that. And this is really something that we look at in my industry, contactless card payments. So a lot of people, I don't know how much you guys are using contactless, like cashless. So you could keep your credit card in your hand all the time and swipe it and not really give out your card back and forth. And a lot of people have started doing that who never did that before. And about a quarter of people, 25% of people, are saying they're using more checkout. They will be using self-checkout more in the future, and they will be using contactless cards more than in the future. And then what do people expect to spend more money on? So definitely groceries is up there. You know, we've been tracking this home entertainment, home purchases a lot because a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are canceling vacation, especially more in the affluent categories, right? More affluent people used to go on international travel, on cruises, and those are not happening anymore. So people are investing more in new homes and in stuff for their homes while they're working from home. So construction has gone up, home entertainment, home improvement are the categories that are increasing. Now you may look at this and go, you know, 20%, that doesn't tell me exactly everyone is doing it, but this is much more skewed. If I did an analysis of, you know, people who are deemed as affluent and employed and less affluent, then you would see a real bifurcation here. And the affluent and employed are doing the home improvement, the home entertainment, and you know, car travel, home purchases, things like that, while the people who are on, you know, we call it haves and have-nots, and the have-not category, there is a real bifurcation. They can't do anything. They're worried about feeding their families, while you know, the more affluent are spending money on various areas. So that's what's driving these numbers. All right, if you are spending money on clothing, what type of clothing are you spending money on is what this question asks. And it's really casual clothes. So shoes, mostly casual shoes, athletic clothing, leisure wear. And this may be logical to you, right? Like if you look at this, you may go, all right, well, you know, nobody's going out, people are not eating out, people are not traveling, not going to work, not seeing friends, right? Going out to brunches. So yeah, there's not a lot of demand for clothing. And so think about the impact to the retail industry is quite substantial. That's why in my field, I don't know if you see it too, but I certainly see it. Every week we have at least 2 or 3 retailers that have declared bankruptcy, because you can almost put up with a 1 or 2 month reduction in sales, but this has gone on for 5 months now, and they can't have no sales for 5 or 6 months in a row. It just, especially for the weak retailers, it almost wipes them out. So it is, you know, a very big implication to the retail industry. And then, so the timeline for pursuing, so a lot of people find this one very, very interesting. So the question was, once coronavirus is brought under control, how soon are you going to go back to doing these things that we listed? So before I go into this chart, let me tell you, we also asked the question about who would get a vaccine. If there was a vaccine available, would you get it? And about 30% of people said that they would not get a vaccine, either not right away or ever. So assuming that the vaccine is going to solve everything is not necessarily always the case, because there is a chunk of the population who are telling us that they would be hesitant. All right, so let's go to this chart. If it was brought under control, how soon are you going to go back to doing these various things? Number 1, 2, and 3 is visit friends and family. And that is the number one that we have seen consistently throughout the beginning of these surveys. And it still exists as number 1. People want to see their friends and family. We're social creatures. We want to get together with people we care about. So that has always been number 1. They want to go to a standalone store. You know, they want to go back shopping. They want to be comfortable enough to go in a store and touch and feel and buy stuff in a store. And then nail salons, hairdressers, barbershops, spas, they also rate highly, but not right away. You notice they're more, only 19% said immediately, while 28% are saying within a few weeks or a few months. All right, so other things that we asked are things like outdoor malls, going to a gym, dentist, elective medical procedures, and you can read through this, taking public transportation. They are almost, in the middle of the pack. But I want to focus your attention now on the last things that people are going to do. The last things people say they're going to do is go to a concert. They're telling us most people are telling us it's going to take a year or more for them to go back to a concert, even if coronavirus was brought back into control. Take a cruise. Cruise lines are, on high alert now, and then travel internationally. So those are the last 3 things people are saying they're going to go back to doing. So any questions on this? I mean, there's a lot of data here, but, we always have a lot of interest in this page because it tells you so clearly what people are going to go back to right away, what they're kind of going to wait for a little while, see what happens, and what they're saying, in a year or more. And this is among people who did this prior to coronavirus. So it's not like I never traveled internationally before, so I'm not going to travel internationally now. They're saying, I used to travel internationally before, but now it's going to take me over a year to get back to it, or I'm never going to do it. Any questions on this? All right. And yeah, this is the vaccine data. So interested in getting a vaccine, only 30% are saying they'll get it right away. Another 40% are saying they're going to wait a little while. And another 30% are saying, I'm not interested in the vaccine. I don't want a vaccine. So this makes us a little nervous in looking at when there's a vaccine available, will coronavirus still stay with us for a while because of this? All right, so just attitudinal impact. How much do you agree or disagree with certain statements? So about 60% say I have to be careful on how I spend my money. Many people say I'm more focused in deals, discounts, offers, so people do not want to spend a lot of money out there and trying to pay off their bills as much as possible. And you could see how this one has grown over time. I think in the beginning people were thinking, oh, maybe in a month or two it'll go away. And now that it's been here for a while, they're trying to hold back and not spend as much money. About 40% of the population say their income has been negatively impacted. And the rest, let me see, this is really about credit cards, financing. About 30 to 40% of the population is still interested in financing. And about 26%, 30% are saying they're worried that they will eventually lose their jobs if they have not lost their jobs already. All right, so expectations. What do people expect for the U.S. economy? And right now it looks still a little bit better, rapid recovery. People are still expecting, 20% of people are expecting that the economy is going to recover in 2 to 3 months. But really most people are saying it's going to take 6 to 12 months before a slow return to growth. And you have those 30% who say it's going to be slower and it's going to be kind of a long-term thing. And over 70% of people say you need a new stimulus bill to keep things going. All right.